Factors of production. In previous classes, we discussed about the factors of production: land, labor, capital, land, labor, capital, which includes as a physical capital as well as the human capital. Out of all these three, human capital, entrepreneurs are the most important factor of a production, which are responsible for the assemblage of a land, labor, and capital to which the production it can possible in a production sites. Clear? To produce goods and services, those activities which are associated with the production of or to produce the goods and services is known as the production. Is known as the production. Is that clear? We discuss about these. Clear? Now from the economies, from the rural or either the urban economies, how can we obtain the maximum? Now the question arises here: how can we obtain more production from available natural resources? There are different ways are there. There are the different ways. For example, first is a land. With the use of a land for a variety of purposes, we can increase the production. Land which is used for agriculture, land used for the set up buildings and industries, land which is used for extraction of raw materials. All these kinds of activities, they are directly and indirectly associated with the land resource. They are associated with the land resource. Clear? Second one with the changes in agriculture. Changes in agriculture. How can we obtain as a maximum from the production? We can produce the more. We can produce the more in economy from a land with the help of different methods. For example, there are 3 agriculture seasons are practiced in India. 3 agricultural seasons practiced in India. In these 3 agriculture seasons, Kharif, Rabi, and Zaid. Kharif, which has run from July towards October, November. Then afterwards, Rabi season it begins, which is going on from November towards April. Then afterwards, the third agriculture season is a Zaid. Z-A-I-D. Zaid. Zaid this is as the short tenure of agriculture season in which basically as a vegetables, watermelon, vegetables, pulses, and watermelon, they are basically produced. Its tenure as of 45 to 60 days. 45 to 60 days. So with the production of crops in 3 agriculture seasons, we can increase the profits. We can increase the production. We can increase production with the use of these 3 agricultural seasons. Clear? Now, second is a cropping pattern. Through the cropping patterns, changes in a cropping pattern, we can also make possibilities for the more production. For example, single cropping patterns. Certain number of areas are there where the land is not much fertile. In such number of the areas, basically farmers produce the one crop in a year. One crop in a year during the summers only. During the summers, they produce the one crop in a year because land or soils are not capable to produce the crops in throughout the year. Clear? After the production of a crop, they remain unused land for a certain period of time through which it regain their fertility. That process is known as a fallowing. When we unuse a land, when we are not use a land for a certain period of time, it may be as a one agricultural season or a year or continuously for the 5 years, 4 to the 5 years. Under this gap of a period when the land has not utilized for the production, under such circumstances, with the growth of plants and grasses, land naturally regain their fertility. Other method through which a land it can the fertility of a land it can as increase. Second, as the stubble mulching. Stubble mulching. It is a technique in which remains of agricultural crops remains after the harvesting of a crop, the remaining husk it has mixed in soils with the help of threshers. With the help of threshers, it mixed in soils. This is known as a stubble mulching. But through this process, the organic matter increases in our soils. Nitrogenous content, organic matter increases in soil. That is known as the stubble mulching. Now the next one is the farming methods. With the help of farming methods, we can also increase the production. We can increase the production through the farming methods. There are two kinds of farming methods are there. One is a traditional method of farming. Second is a modern. Traditional and modern. Traditional method of farming. Traditional method of farming and modern techniques of farming. Modern techniques of farming. Traditional methods of farming basically used for subsistence, for the survival of the families. Basically earlier the farmers produced the crops for the subsistence, for the survival of their families only. They were not related with the to gain maximum profits. But the present form of agriculture is a commercial form. Commercial form of agriculture practiced to produce such crops which are more beneficial, like as a cash crops, rubber, sugarcane, tea, coffee, such kinds of the crops. These are basically produced by the farmers to earn the maximum profits. Clear? To earn maximum profits. To earn the maximum profits. So the first is the traditional method of farming. Traditional method of farming. Method of farming. In a traditional method of farming, the source of irrigation, these were the wells. Irrigation necessity, it complete through the wells and the rivers, and most of the agriculture is directly dependent on the monsoons. If the monsoonal rainfall, during the rainy season, it will be occur as a normally as compared to the other years. Then under such circumstances, the production it will be as a good. If the rain lesser occur, it will directly influence the economic status of a farmer. Such farmers, they will complete their other needs by borrowing the loans from the society, from moneylenders and the landlords. Clear? Moneylenders and landlords. In a traditional methods of farming, they include the practices in which the Indian farmers have been using from many generations. They transfer the techniques of production of a crop from one generation towards the other generation. One generation to another in a traditional method of farming. Clear? Now the third, in traditional method of farming, farmers basically emphasizing over the bullocks for the plowing a land. They use animals for tilling a land. Clear? In traditional method of farming, farmers basically use the bullocks or the animals for the tilling and plowing purposes. Clear? For plowing, they use as animals. Third, farmers use the bullock carts for the transportation of a material from an agricultural fields towards a market. Bullock carts for transportation. They use as a bullock carts for the movement of the goods from agriculture fields towards the markets. Agricultural fields towards the markets. They use, in traditional methods of farming, they use the seeds. Which kind of seeds? Those seeds, such kind of grains which they produce, they harvest in a previous year. They conserve and use in the next year. They use the traditional seeds for the production of crops. Production of crops. Clear? Next one is the farmers work with the traditional wooden tools and equipments. Wooden tools and equipments. Farmers specifically emphasizing over the wooden tools and equipments. Equipments. Clear? Equipments. Organic manures provides the nutrition to the soil. They emphasizing over a use of organic manures. Organic manure. Farmers use the organic manures to increase the fertility of a soil. Increase the fertility of soils. Farmers emphasizing over the use of organic manures to increase the fertility of soil. So at the end, through the such kind of techniques and methodologies, they resulted as a low production. Low production. Low production. Is that clear? In a traditional methods of farming, they basically complete their need of irrigation through the rain. Through rain, they use as a traditional methods of farming or the animals for the plowing and tilling purposes, tilling the land. Third one as a bullock carts basically used for transportation of a material. That's why the most number of perishable goods like as the vegetables, fruits, their quality declined. Fourth one is that they use as a traditional seeds, those grains which they produced last year, use in a next year for a production. They use the traditional seeds for the production. Clear? Next one is that they basically use as a traditional wooden tools and equipments for a production. Wooden tools and equipments for production. Next one is they basically use as the organic manures, cow dung to increase the fertility of soil. Farmers basically emphasizing over the cow dung to increase the fertility of soils, and at the end, through these techniques, they resulted as a low production. Is that clear? So this was as a traditional method of farming. Traditional method of farming. Note it down. Next one is our modern methods of farming. Modern methods of farming. Modern methods of farming. Modern methods of farming. In modern methods of farming, farmers basically emphasizing over the HYV seeds. They use HYV seeds. The use of HYV, high yielding varieties of seeds. High yielding varieties of seeds they use for a production. High yielding varieties of seeds used for production. Clear? Second one as modern inputs of farming. Modern inputs of farming used in agriculture. For example, insecticides, pesticides, they generally use in a agricultural sector. They use pesticides, insecticides, weedicides to protect crop from the unwanted plants, bacteria, and for more production. Clear? Third, mechanization of agriculture. They use the machines in agriculture. Use of machines in agriculture. In a modern techniques of farming, farmers basically emphasizing over the use of machines in agriculture. Use of machines in agriculture. Use of machines in agriculture. Clear? Machines in agriculture. Tubewells and canals as the source of irrigation. Tubewells and canals are the are the important sources of irrigation which are basically used for a commercial purposes, commercial agriculture, for agriculture in a modern time. Tube wells and canals, they basically use to increase productivity from land, from land, from land. Clear? From land. In a modern techniques of farming, they include the use of electricity, machinery, and other sources of energy, other sources of energy, other sources of energy, other sources of energy, and irrigation facilities, and irrigation facilities, irrigation facilities. Next one, in the modern techniques of farming, basically the farmers produce crops for the commercial purposes. Farmers produce crops for commercialization of agriculture, commercial purposes, commercial purposes, commercial purposes. In modern techniques of farming, farmers basically use as the chemical fertilizers to increase the fertility. Chemical fertilizers to increase fertility of soil and increase productivity. Increase fertility of soils. So due to these factors, at the end, more production resulted. More production resulted. At the end, as the more production resulted. Clear? Is that clear? More production resulted with the help of a modern techniques of farming. Crop produced on a given piece of land. Crop produced on a given piece of land, during a season when a crop produced from agricultural land is known as yield. Use of HYB seeds. Use of HYB seeds. High-yielding varieties of seeds are, these were the genetically modified seeds. Genetically modified seeds. Such kind of the seeds which free from the disease, through which the more production it can be as a possible, for which the HYB seeds is used in a agricultural sector. Second, use of machines such as the tractors, threshers, and combines. Tractors, combines, harvesters, threshers. These were basically used in agricultural sector to decrease the impact of environment on a production at the time of the harvesting, or reduce the wastage in harvesting of a crop, for which such machines, these were very helpful. Threshers, combines, and harvesters. Third, higher yields enabled farmers to sell the surplus food in the market to earn maximum profits. With the help of a green revolution, farmers, they can sell the surplus production in our markets to complete their other needs of families. Earlier, those farmers which basically has produced the agriculture crops for the needs of their families, but now presently they are self-sufficient. After saving the grains for their family, surplus production they sell in market to earn the profits and complete their other needs of families. other needs of families, which makes the farmers' conditions as the better. Farmers, they become as the prosperous with the help of a green revolution. Fourth one, pesticides and insecticides. Pesticides and insecticides are able to protect the crops from pesticides and insecticides. These were able to protect the crops from pests and insects, unwanted plants and insects, unwanted plants and insects, unwanted plants and insects. A good irrigation system, a good irrigation system, a good irrigation system makes possibilities to earn profits from agriculture. A good irrigation system, a good irrigation system help to increase production and earn maximum profits. Maximum profits. Clear? So these were as the characteristics of a green revolution. Green revolution, with the help of a green revolution, it also causes some of the threats for the society. For example, first, high-yielding varieties of seeds needs the plenty of water, and that water complete to the underground water table. That's why the underground water table goes downward. Underground water table goes downward. At the time of independence, water level, underground water level, it was available at a depth of 30 feet. So after the 70 years of independence, it goes the 70 to 80 feet deeper. Why? Because excessive exploitation of underground water level for the production of agricultural crops in parts of Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. In parts of Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh, excessive use of HYV seeds, which needs plenty of water, that much of a quantity of water completes to the underground water level. So it goes downward. Second one, water pollution. Excessive use of fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, when they mix with, they dissolve in a rainwater through percolation, through the process of a seepage, it pollutes the underground water level. It pollutes underground water level as well as river systems also. River systems, it causes water pollution. Use of a modern inputs in a farming, it indirectly pollutes the water resource. Third, economic disparities. Economic disparities. Green revolution only benefited to the areas of Punjab, Haryana, and parts of Uttar Pradesh. But the other parts of our countries, these were segregated from the such kind of practices. Such modifications not occur in other economies. That's why there are the huge differences, the economic disparities existing in society. Economic disparities existing in society. Economic disparities existing in society. Fourth one, deforestation. Deforestation. With the use of a green revolution, a large number of land required by the farmers for a production. To increase the production, to occupy the large number of agricultural land, they basically doing as a deforestation, a cutting of trees, and use such forest land for the production of crops. Clear? It led to the deforestation. So first, as the underground water level decreased due to the excessive use of HYV seeds. Second one, as the water pollution led due to the modern inputs used in a farming sector. Pesticides, insecticides, weedicides excessively used through percolation, they pollute the underground water. Clear? Third, underground water. Third, it led to the deforestation. Fourth one, as the economic disparities, the economic differences existed in India due to the Green Revolution. Now, what kind of benefits to the economy? How does the Green Revolution benefited to India? First one, India becomes as a self-sufficient in food grains. India, it becomes as the self-sufficient in a food grains. Self-sufficient in food grains. At the time of independence, our 80% of the food grains brought from the abroad towards our country to complete the needs of a food in our country. But now, due to the emphasis of a green revolution, due to the practice of a green revolution, now India, it becomes as a self-sufficient in food grain. Self-sufficient in food grains. Second one, positive balance of trade. Positive balance of trade. Positive balance of trade. It means as the number of exports are increasing as compared to the imports. Exports of food grains increasing in our country as compared to the imports. Earlier those food grains which we brought from the foreign towards our country, now we are self-sufficient. We are exporting the food grains towards other countries and importing the manufacturing goods. Manufacturing goods. Clear? Manufacturing goods. Third, green revolution improves the economic status of farmers. Economic status of farmers. Green revolution improves the economic status of farmers. Economic status of farmers. Fourth one, green revolution supports or a growth of economy. Green revolution supported for the growth of Indian economy. Green revolution supported for the growth of Indian economy. How? To increase through the increase of share of primary sector, share of agriculture sector in Indian economy. Share of agriculture sector in Indian economy. Share of agriculture sector in Indian economy increasing since last 60 to 70 years. 60 to 70 years, the share of a primary sector, agricultural sector increase in manifold. Is that clear?